I started learning 3D about 6 years ago, dabbling in sculpting, animation, character design, product design, kind of all over the place. But in the past year or two, I've really wanted to improve my skills as a creature and character artist, getting to the question, can I make a AAA creature for a video game? Before I got into 3D, my background revolved around videography and video editing, and it was actually learning VFX and playing around with visual effects that brought me into the 3D space. I was just working on a fun project for myself and I wanted to add 3D assets into my video editing. Since then, I've been working towards a career in games, focusing on studying anatomy, texturing, and of course, refining my sculpting skills. One thing I wanted to focus on that AAA creature artists talk about a lot is silhouette and creating a shape that is memorable regardless of detail. Obviously the detail is important, but if a strong silhouette isn't recognizable, then the rest doesn't really matter. Some of the goals I was aiming for was strong silhouette, improving my texture skills, and making sure the creature feels believable. I also wanted to make sure that my creature had strong anatomy, and of course, keeping the question in mind, would this survive a AAA portfolio review? Today, we're starting a brand new sculpt. This is the general idea. I'm gonna pull a little bit more reference for the other kind of creature head that I wanna go for. And yeah, the head is gonna be different, but it's gonna be a snake-like body. It should be a fun one. Now, I'm not entirely sure what inspired me to create a creature like this, but I saw a couple cool designs on ArtStation and Google Images just searching up fantasy creatures that I think really sparked my interest. I wanted to create something that felt a little bit amphibious and something that you might run into a cave while you're questing or something. Now, although I didn't rig or animate this character, I could envision it slithering around, coming up out of a puddle or something, and engaging with the player. I actually had a fish in mind that inspired the type of teeth I chose for this creature. And if you've ever seen the show River Monsters, the Goliath tigerfish inspired the teeth design that I chose. I also wanted to give this guy a full-on dorsal fin from the top of his head all the way to his tail, something kind of eel-like to help sell the amphibious look. Now for the eyes, I was having a little bit of trouble deciding the kind of design I wanted to go for the eyes. I wanted them to be big and bulge out, kind of like a fish. And initially I was really happy with them. And I think in my final render, I think they stuck out a little bit too much, but let me know what you guys think. At this point, some of the skin on my creature was looking a little bit too smooth and I wanted to give it some wrinkle and some definition. So I started adding that in. And then I moved to hands and I wanted this creature to have somewhat kind of like human hands. However, I stuck with 4 fingers and gave it some long nails, almost claw-like, but still just long, sharp nails. Give it a weird, like, wretched look, almost kind of like a witch. I didn't necessarily imagine this character wielding any weapons or anything like that. However, I did see this character in my head using its nails to slash at potentially the player. Here, my skin texture was looking a little bit boring still. I really enjoyed adding like the ribbed look along the entire creature, but I decided to experiment with almost like a ripped outer layer. Sorry, I'm not exactly sure what to call it, but I wanted to add some like holes and different cuts across the creature's body. All in all, I think it added a ton of detail, and I was really happy with the end result of how like all the tears and little holes and indentations that I added, which really made the creature's skin pop. I gave this creature a ton of wrinkles as well, leading up to the dorsal fin and all the way down the back half of this creature. I wanted it to kind of look like it had excess skin and that it folds over one another a little bit, probably based off of its movement, going from stretched out, slithering around to standing up tall like how I sculpted it. I was really a fan of how these tears came across from the bicep, actually this is the tricep, into the main arm muscle. I actually got this from a reference from Gino Luca Colling's Naga sculpt, and I just think it looks sweet. It also allowed me to add a ton of layering into my texturing and substance painter, which you'll see coming up soon. Lastly, I forgot to give the creature a tongue, so I added that in quickly, and let's get to retopology. Retopology is so painstakingly boring. Golly. The retopology is getting to me. It's getting a little bit late, but we're almost there. All we have is the fin left, or dorsal fin, whatever. But we're in the home stretch, and we're about to get to either my favorite part or my second favorite part, which is color. Alright, it's the next morning. I went about as late as I could possibly go without falling asleep. We have just the dorsal fin left of retopology, and then we're getting back to, not getting back to them, then we're gonna do color. Alright, it's been a couple days since I finished the retopology section, and I've transferred my high poly mesh into a low poly mesh using the multi-resolution modifier and the shrink wrap modifier. So I'm working on sculpting some more detail into our mesh, and then it'll be time for color. Alright, so we're a little bit into color right now. I'm super happy with how the gums and the teeth on our Naga creature has come out. I'm struggling a little bit on how I want the like skin or outer shell, kind of whatever the outer color to look like. I keep going back and forth. 1 hour I put this base color down, the other hour I put a different base color down. That's kind of where I'm at for right now. Alright, so Substance Painter was really bogging down as I was layering my like undercolors and the first set of base colors. I recently learned of a solution to drop my resolution from 4K textures to 2K, and then I can rescale them back up at the end. So I had that process going and it was loading, and I went to the restroom and I came back to completely crash Substance Painter. Now, I don't currently remember what my last save was, so yeah, y'all know how that goes. Alright, it's another fresh day at this point, and my goal for today is to complete our texturing process and try to wrap this up. Honestly, I think I'm getting to the point where I'm ready for a new project and I just want to move on from this one, but I also don't want to like fully rush into finishing it. So that's kind of my goal today, is to complete our texturing process here and hopefully get some renders up. This is honestly one of my best pieces yet, and although it may or may not be AAA quality already, if you're also trying to break into the industry, I'd love for you to follow along with my journey and give feedback, or if you're here just for the art, I appreciate you checking it out.